welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about my hopeful fall TBR. This is every single thing that I might want to read in fall, and I've actually shortened the list quite a bit because I can be just a little crazy. So these are all the books I want to dive in before the fall season wraps up, hopefully. So think thrillers, think literary fiction. There's a little romantasy in there. There's a modern classic in there. I think there are one or two classics in there as well. So this, and I'm always going to have one or two honorary mentions just because that's the way my brain works. But yeah, let's jump right in. Why is this just ruining the vibes and surprises and everything? Okay, so the first book I want to talk about is Amity by Nathan Harris, which just came out at the beginning of this month on September 2nd, and it's historical fiction. I am really excited to try it out. I don't know much about it. I just saw it, and here, let me pull it up. I don't know much about it, but I saw it, and how did I figure this out, or how did I learn about this one? This one I learned about from nobody. But the reason that I was interested in it because it talks about siblings who are emancipated from slavery and are kind of, I guess, traveling and trying to figure out how they can come together as a family. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm really excited to read it. I don't think that there are tons and tons of books that come out from like a Black perspective about Civil War times and about like post-slavery times. Like, I know that there are things out there, but there aren't a lot of like new things coming out that are like fiction, and so I wanted to give this one a try. I'm really excited for it, and I just noticed that there's something else I wanted to pick up. I'm excited for it because I just think it'll be a good read, and yeah, so that's that one. The second one is for September 30th, and it's called Heart the Lover, and it's by Lily King. This one, did somebody tell me about this one? Let me try and think. I gotta remind myself what the cover looks like. Heart the Lover. Nobody told me about it, but it comes out on the 30th, supposedly. Fingers crossed. If it does come out the 30th, I am gonna go pick it up on release day just because it feels like the right thing to do. But the first line of the summary is, "You knew I'd write a book about you someday." And I was just like, yes. Yes, feels right. There is like a literary vibe to it just because of the classes that the protagonists are taking and how she meets people. Anyways, it just sounded like a good idea. It kind of gave me Watermelon by Marian Keyes vibes, and that is one of my all-time favorite books, and I think it's probably got some level of nostalgia attached to it, which is fine. And so I'm really excited to read a book that's supposed to be, that feels to me, after reading the summary, pretty similar. That is my dryer, washer, something. But anyway, I really want to give that one a try. I'm excited. It makes me want to reread Watermelon, and I think I might do that. Okay, and then we have, that's September. We have October, and so October has quite a few ones that I wanted to get into, and the first one is The Intruder by Frida McFadden. And so it comes out October 7th, and everybody loves Frida McFadden. They call her, you know, like the queen of thrillers, or like bingeable thrillers, because her stuff is really fast paced, and I think it's gonna be a page turner. This will be my first Frida McFadden. She finally got me. I keep wanting to pick up, you know, the Maid series. I think it's called The Maid, but I'm like, that's a lot to commit to, and I don't know if I have the space for that right now as I am in this form. So this is fun that she has something coming out that is a standalone, at least right now, and so I'm really excited to try that one out. And then also on October 7th, we have Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. And so this is kind of my fantasy romantic-y, kind of hopeful for this season, just because Stephanie Garber is, you know, again, queen of this particular space, from what I understand. I want to say I do have the first book of the Caraval series. I have Caraval, and then I have the spin-off series. I have those. I didn't read any of them. I don't even know if I'll read Caraval because what happened? I think I started it and it just felt young for me in a way that I didn't like super duper appreciate at the time. This was a couple years ago. And then I heard that the spin-off books, The Ballad of Never After and all of them, I heard that those books, you can read them without having to read Caraval. So I bought those because they were pretty. And now here we are, and I just have all of these books, and I have to figure out if I'm gonna read them or not. And actually, this might be a space where I do bring in, like, read it or release it for real, and actually, like, play by the rules. Because if I don't love them, I can let them go. And I just have to remember that. I don't have to keep every book I buy. Like, that's not, I don't have to do that because I don't like them all. So, yeah. Anyways, and then we have October 14th, Loved One by Aisha Mahar, I think is how you pronounce it. Probably should have looked that up. It's gonna be okay. Anyways, so this one's more literary contemporary. This one, I do think I heard about from Shaughnessy. I'm pretty sure. Shaughnessy? Is it you? Is it? Yes. Shaughnessy talks about this in her fall releases, like, hopeful whatever video. I will link it so that you know what I'm talking about. And she sold it for me. This book is kind of a heart, what was I gonna say? A tearjerker. And the reason that I thought it was good is because it's literary, kind of contemporary, and I think it'll I can speak. I think it'll balance out some of the thrillers that I'm going to be reading because I do want to read as many thrillers as possible. So this one is about a first love kind of coming of age situation, and then one of the people dies. This is in the summary, and you know, there are others who are just trying to come to terms with that death and figure out what the person Gabe who died means. Like, because I guess he means different things to different people, and so everybody's trying to like figure out what that meaning is. And so I am excited for that. That one I likely will also go and get on release day. I don't do a lot of release day buying of books. Like, it's pretty rare for me. I would say like a quarter of the books I buy are new releases. So not necessarily release date, but like new releases. But there are a couple that I'm genuinely excited about. I'm also trying to branch out of buying books just because they're like being talked about, or buying books just because they're on a particular like table at one of the bookstores. Like, more specifically at like Barnes and Noble. I feel like when I'm going to like smaller bookstores, they're curating things not necessarily from a like they're curating their tables from a more pure place. Whereas when you go into like bigger bookstores, you know, obviously they're trying to sell a particular book, push a particular title, and that's fine. But I'm trying to get away from buying books just from that standpoint, and I'm trying to just kind of browse the aisles like I used to and pick up the books that look interesting to me, and having my own opinion about that as opposed to relying on somebody else. And then yeah, it's just like a thing I'm trying to do. And so some of the books that I picked are very, very popular, and then some of them are a bit more obscure. And something that I like about the people who I follow, the broad list of booktubers that I follow, or life influencers, lifestyle influencers that I follow, is that their taste can be a bit more broad, and of course it intersects with what's popular because duh. But I think having a broader access point, as opposed to like a super narrow, like I only read this and I only read this, I don't know, I think that's better. I don't know. Okay, anyways, end of October, October 21st, sort of the end, is Carried Away by Natisha Rayner. And so I haven't read Rayner before, but it sounds like it could be a really sweet romance. And I feel like I just do need a little bit of romance on this list. Carried Away is about, sorry, I just want to pull it up for you. It's a Father's Day short and a setup for the standalone novel Treacherous Justice. After 8 years of being with her husband, Shalane Brunson has reached her breaking point. Without a job, she knows her exit has to be strategic. However, before she can leave on her own, the decision is made for her. One traumatic event is all it takes for Shalane to realize the person she was married to isn't who she thought he was. And I'm gonna leave it right there, but I don't know, it seems like it could be interesting. I know that there's supposed to be romance in there, and I'm just hoping for the best. This is kind of urban Black fiction as well, which I really, really need to make sure that I'm continuing to diversify the things that I'm reading. It's important to me, and so I'm happy to be able to throw this one in there. Okay, and then in November we have the big one for me, which is The Burning Library by Gilly Macmillan, which it comes out on the 18th, and I have never read her thrillers ever, but this one is supposed to have like a literary fiction. Not the neighborhood constable pulled you over. That's, you can't see that. That's the console. I'm just gonna boop. Can I block it out? I feel like if it were me watching, like, it would be distracting. I'd be like, what's going on back there? And also I'm looking at it and it's distracting for me. I want to know what's going on. I hope everybody's okay. But yeah, so I'm really interested in this one. What is it about this book that I liked? Because there was a thought I had. Why did I like it? It's supposed to be a bit of a dark academia and a mystery thriller situation, and it's set in Scotland. And I felt like it would give me the Alex McLady's vibes that I'm missing, because I really, really loved The Maidens and The Silent Patient. The Silent Patient is like perfect. And I don't know. I'm hoping that this gives me the same feeling that those books gave me when I was reading them. And so that's why I want to read that one. And then, yeah, a couple of just like, what would you call this? A couple of honorary mentions of things that I want to read. So the first one is A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. I think I had said I wanted to read this a couple videos back and I just hadn't gotten to it, but I have noticed that, like, when I read the first two books last year, it was like fall into winter, or yeah, like very end of fall, and then I read them through winter. And so this is kind of the time of year that I like to start thinking about them. And so I think I'm interested enough in this universe to pick it up now. And probably what I'll do is I would read another 2 books this year, you know, through the end of the year. That's kind of my cadence, I think. And so I would be totally fine with that. I would like to pick it up in the fall. If I pick it up in winter, no big deal, but I'm mentioning it because it's like on my mind. And then another book I want to read this fall is The Song of the Blue Bottle Tree. And I think I've mentioned this one before. Blue bottle trees are just an interesting part of my culture, or like my mom's culture. And I am really, really interested in like my matriarchal culture. This is kind of a thing, and I really do want to read this and become familiar with more literature that kind of hones in on culture. I'm also interested in reading more Native literature that hones in on similar concepts. I read a lot of poetry, a lot of like Indigenous poetry, but I have not read any Indigenous novels that I can remember outside of like maybe things when I was a kid. So okay, I also want to read With a Vengeance before the season ends. And This one, I kind of told you guys about this one. My husband got this book for me as soon as I finished my library copy of Middle of the Night, and this was coming out right then, and I was so excited. So it's pretty new as a release, but I do really want to read this one. It does give fall vibes. I think thrillers just work well for me in fall, so that's another one I'd like to get to. And then there's just two more. This is One Dark Window. I actually have this on my Kindle, and every time I pick it up, I do have a good time. It's the same thing as what's happening with Legendborn. It's just, I'm not reaching for it. I don't know why, I'm just not. But it is a good time. I don't know. But I really enjoy it when I pick it up, and I do want to read this series. Is it a duology? I think it's a duology. And last one for me is Wuthering Heights. I have sung Jane Eyre's praises until I was blue in the face, and Wuthering Heights is just another book that I think for me will be an excellent read. I also feel like the kind of spooky vibes it offers is going to give me just everything that I deserve in this season, and so I'm really, really excited to get into this. I have started it, and so you know I'm gonna read it because I started it. And yeah, I'm feeling really good about that one. I think that's it. So anyway, so those are all the books that I am hoping to read this fall, maybe, or yeah, I'm hoping to read them. I'm hoping to read them this fall. It's still happening back there. There's still, looks like he's letting them go. Okay. Yes, those are all the books I want to read this fall, and I am pretty sure it'll be a good time. I thank you for being here for this short little video, and I hope that you are having a good start to your fall season. I guess we're kind of into it. I live in Houston, and so it's relative, but I hope you're having a good start to your fall, and I hope that you got some ideas from this about things you might want to be reading. If you have ideas or books that I haven't mentioned, please leave them in my comments, because I love, like, there's nothing more sweet and beautiful and kind than a book recommendation. I truly, truly believe that. And so please send me book recommendations. I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, if you like the video, please like it. If you want to hang out and talk more about books, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.